Hey party people, guess what I think I may have found? The perfect car leather upholstery cleaning brush. Yes, that was a mouthful. But the point is you are likely here because you want to clean your car leather upholstery. You probably have some dirty car leather upholstery. Or you may have a brand new car with some, wait for it, car leather upholstery. Therefore, you bounce online, you bounce onto YouTube, and you find and research what is the best car leather upholstery cleaning brush. Well, this would be a perfect starting point. Let me tell you why. Well, first off, as a beginner, and I'm going to concentrate my talk track towards beginners specifically. As a beginner, there's going to be a certain level of anxiety and fear and trepidation in any part of the car care subject, especially car leather upholstery, especially if it's a brand new car, because if it is a brand new car, there's going to be a healthy level of emotional attachment associated with your car itself, as well as the leather upholstery. You paid more to have leather upholstery in your car. Therefore, you probably want to find a upholstery brush that's going to prove to be very, very safe. But what you need to know is that safe and effective can remain mutually exclusive. So just because it's safe does not necessarily mean it's effective. But fear not, for I have a solution for that, which is this. If you find that this is as safe as I do, which I think you will, you may just have to go in multiple times in order to get desired results, which is completely normal, especially if you're here and you have excessively dirty leather, but you want to be excessively safe in cleaning your excessively dirty leather. I get it. So just know that repeat applications are okay and it's acceptable. And it's actually the preferred method. Rather than going in level 10 and using gallons of liquid the first time around and think you're going to get it all in one go, it's just unrealistic. So go in repeat applications. Let's get back to the brush itself. Ergonomically shaped, ergonomically friendly. It delivers a good user experience in the way it feels in your hand. It's small enough to manage. It's big enough to be effective, as in not too small, not too big. It's kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, where she finally figures out the best bed, the right temperature and porridge. Well, this is the right size, not too big, not too small. It's also made of natural horsehair bristles. Something you need to know about, well, the world of car care is that when it comes to natural bristles, they really reduce it down to two versions. Horsehair, boar's hair. There's not a whole lot of difference. They're both soft and gentle when they're dry, but what you need to know, unlike synthetic bristles always maintain their natural stiffness, for lack of a better description. Unlike natural hair, once you get it wet with your cleaner or water or anything liquid, it's going to become softer, more gentle. So many of you will find that appealing. You'll think, oh wow, that's cool. The second I introduce some liquid to the equation in the form of car leather cleaner, it's going to become even more gentle than it already is. It already starts out very gentle. Now it's going to become even more gentler. Well, that can be mostly the good news, but it can also represent a challenge, because if you're cleaning excessively dirty leather and this becomes softer and more gentler, now it becomes also, wait for it, less effective. But like I say, everything in life has trade-offs. But if you're sitting on the fence, you don't know where to start, to me, this would be an ideal way to start. Let me bring you in and I'll just show you a little demonstration. And here we have the seat of my car leather in my BMW. And as you can see, it is completely filthy. Not. But that's not really the goal of this video. The goal of the video is to highlight this really cool brush that is synthetic fibers that's going to prove very, very safe. So a lot of things that I want to add along the way in cleaning your car leather, since you are here under the context of cleaning your car leather and finding a very safe brush in which to do so. You always pre-vacuum. Yes, even car leather that's not porous, because you're going to get some debris and loose stuff in the seams. It's always easier to clean it or vacuum it up while it's dry before you introduce some form of liquid into it, because once you combine liquid with that loose debris, it makes essentially some form of mud that's just harder or less easier to clean up. So you pre-vacuum. Now, based on the area you're trying to clean, will determine maybe how you apply your choice of cleaner. If you want to know what I use as a cleaner, always check the links below each video, and it will take you to my website, and you can find the types of cleaners and other brushes that I recommend. So here I'm going to spray the leather specifically. I do it enough to get it wet, but I don't go level 10 and oversaturate it. Now I scrub and I pay special attention to the seams of the panels itself. And when I clean basically any part of the car, I do what's called gridding it. I grid it down to an acceptable point. Now a seat generally will have panels to it, so it's already kind of gridded naturally. So this is one grid, this is another grid, here's another grid, and I just concentrate on each grid, and then I simultaneously break it down and approach and attack and clean each grid independently as an independent entity. So then I mop it up, and once again I pay attention to those seams where I force my fingers and the cloth into the seam. And yes, I always use a microfiber cloth. Why? 3 specific reasons. 1, the safest, softest, gentlest cloth that you can use. Secondly, the most absorbent cloth that you can use. Thirdly, it's not going to leave lint on your upholstery as you're using it. That is a big plus, especially if you're used to using like a terry cloth or 100% cotton cloth, which I don't know, they basically suck in my opinion when it comes to cars. Another way to do it into managing your liquid is you spray it directly onto your upholstery brush. Now you can sit here and you can finesse. For example, down here you have these controls. Now a lot of you would go into freak out mode if you sprayed that. You're like, oh my gosh, Darren, you're gonna damage the electronics underneath that. Well, then don't do it, which is why you take your brush, you spray it onto the brush, and then you can sit here and finesse. You can even go across that. You're not going to get gobs of liquid into those electronic components, and that's a perfect way to manage the moment. But wait, there's more, because there's a third option, which is this. You can spray it onto the material directly, you can spray it onto your brush directly, or now that you've mopped up a certain amount of cleaner with this, you can either use the residual cleaner that's already on the cloth, or you can spray a fresh section of the cloth and manage your cleaner that way. And now I can sit here and finesse and fine tune the areas that I'm fearful or I don't want to get overspray on. And that's a perfectly acceptable and recommended way to do it. If there's a fear factor going on in your psyche, or there's some components, electrical components, whatever the case may be, I've just given you 3 choices. So in 4,163 words or less, that is my review on the Chemical Guys horsehair car upholstery brush, which I think most of you will find ideal when it comes to cleaning your car leather. Is this in fact the world's safest car leather cleaning brush? I don't know. I just know it's darn good, it's darn safe, and I really, really love it, and I'm going to give it a 2 thumbs up. So you can always find all this stuff that I talk about in the links below. By all means, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, by all means, come along for the ride. And if you want to get alerts every time I upload a video, make sure you hit that little bell icon next to, which would be over there, the little bell icon next to the subscribe button. With that said, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next video.